Yesterday was a massive day for Red Sox news. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and yesterday, for those of you who don't know, was Fenway Fest, the first ever to happen, and obviously getting all the reporters in a room with all the players. There's going to be some big updates, so that's exactly what we are going over in today's video, all the highlights from the media sessions from this weekend. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, so for those of you who may be wondering, yes, I was at Fenway Fest yesterday, and yes, there will be a vlog of the entire event and what it was like. First time ever at Fenway Park. That'll come out on Monday, but I did want to get through all the news items first from this event because there is a ton of them, so buckle up. We got a whole lot to talk about. The first one is obviously Red Sox ownership gets in a room, Red Sox ownership gets in front of media. There's going to be a story about it. They're going to rile up fans some way. And the big quote to come out of Winter Weekend from Sam Kennedy was this one right here when he was asked about whether or not the Red Sox hope to go over the CBT. Quote, "We don't have a hope or goal when it comes to spending. We have a hope or a goal about wins and win total." Honestly, I think anything ownership says at this point in the offseason is going to come across negative, right? Red Sox fans are not pleased with ownership, so anything that they say is going to be taken poorly. A lot of people took this quote as, oh, it's the Red Sox admitting they're not spending again. Honestly, I'm kind of sitting here and I don't think this quote is all that terrible. I kind of agree with him, right? I don't think the Red Sox should have a goal or a set budget for the 2025 season. I think they should be looking for the most wins, and whatever gets them the most wins is the direction that they should go. Now, normally, as we've seen in the past with Red Sox teams, more spending usually equals more winning, as we've seen throughout Major League Baseball as well over the last few years, so it's definitely part of it, but he also didn't say they aren't going to spend, right? This wasn't the same quote as we got last year, which was essentially, we're going to stay under the CBT, and y'all are liars because, hey, we still care about this team. For those of you calling us out, you're dead wrong. It isn't that kind of quote, right? I actually don't think this is as bad as last year. I just think anything ownership says is going to be taken in a negative way. I would rather them go for wins than go for spending, but that's just personally my opinion. I don't know if I'm wrong here. I will say there was some funny moment here where Sam Kennedy's own dad told him, look, the team's still incomplete. Sam, listen to your father. There's still absolutely work to do. Another quote that Sam Kennedy had during the Winter Weekend, or I'm going to keep saying Winter Weekend accidentally, I mean Fenway Fest, that I think is also pertinent to this quote is this one right here. We're pleased with our position, but recognizing there's still work to be done. I actually really like that quote, right? I do think the Red Sox have done a good job this winter. I do still think there's work to be done. This one just didn't get as many views this weekend. So overall, in terms of ownership, there's always going to be people who are upset with the way ownership talks, and I don't blame them, but I don't think this quote is anything to really get totally riled up about. Outside of that, Alex Cora also agrees with Sam Kennedy's father that there's still work that needs to be done for this team. Quote, "We talk about lineup balance. We have to do that. There's different ways to do that. We talk about different ways to improve this team in the offseason via trade, free agency, and player development. I know the front office is working hard on a few things, and hopefully we can do that." Honestly, a lot of people right now within the game are saying there's a pretty low chance of Alex Bregman, and that this is more realistically going to end up being Arenado. I have no idea where the cards land on this. We know from Carabas in Section 10 that the Red Sox still do not have an offer on the table for Bregman. It seems as though they're trying to play a game of chicken when Bregman's not really playing chicken. He's got offers from other teams, so I have no idea what's going on with the Red Sox and the Bregman stuff. Arenado, there's definitely some smoke too. We'll see what kind of ends up there. One thing that I did take out of Fenway Fest, specifically from Red Sox players and management in media, is that Alex Cora is definitely still banging the Alex Bregman drum, and you know what? I will too until he plays for another team. But every time Nolan Arenado is brought up this offseason, the other thing that gets brought up is the potential trade of Triston Casas, and this was the first time media got to ask him about it. I think he had some really interesting quotes. The first one I think is absolutely fascinating. Quote, "They've told me that none of the rumors are true. Maybe all that other stuff is clickbait. For now, they're trying to assure me that they want me to be a player here for a long time. They bring it up to me almost jokingly." I gotta tell you, I don't know who's lying to who. I have a feeling it's the front office lying to Triston, if we're being totally honest. It feels like too many national and local media have said, yep, they're definitely, at least at the bare minimum, listening to offers on Triston Casas. I don't love the idea that they're lying to him, but I do like the fact that the Red Sox, at least to Triston Casas, are saying, no, yeah, you're good. We're not going to trade you. I still think there's a chance that it happens, but I like the fact that they're telling him that. Hopefully this is actually something that's the truth and everything else is that clickbait. I honestly have no idea, but I got to tell you, Triston Casas, for being 24 years old, for being someone who's unbelievably outspoken in the media, did a really good job handling these rumors. He got asked about it on basically every news outlet humanly possible, and he had a lot of really great responses. One of my favorite ones was on WEEI, where he responded with, hopefully I put up some numbers and we get back to extension talks, which, by the way, they haven't had any since the winter began. The Red Sox were my first team and hopefully my last. I play for the 6 letters on my chest. I just completely love this dude. He perfectly handles media really well. I think he's a personality. I think that's just so fun, right? There are so many superstars in this game that are just quietly existing. I love the fact that he's open and honest with the media. I really, really hope they don't trade this dude. And I think that's one of my bigger takeaways from Fenway Fest yesterday. My other one regarding Triston Casas is that he is going to be the star of this Netflix series, which we'll get into in the vlog. There was an arbitration update on the whole Duran situation. We talked about it. Not a good look publicly for the Red Sox. But Craig Breslow really was the main one to speak on this. Sam Kennedy kind of deferred it to him. I really liked his quote. I talked to him, a.k.a. Duran, yesterday. I've been through this on the other side, and I know how these things can go sideways. We have no interest in that. Kennedy kind of separately said that he believes that there will be a conclusion as well. It sounds like the Red Sox are pretty hell-bent, I would say, on making sure that this thing doesn't go to arbitration. If it does, again, it's just going to look absolutely terrible. But it kind of sounds like the Red Sox submitted a blind bid, Duran submitted a blind bid, and then Duran said, nah, I'm good, I'm not going to take 3.5. It sounds like the Red Sox are going to be more than willing to try and meet him somewhere to get a number done, which is fantastic. If it goes to arbitration, we're going to have a big problem. We will definitely make a video on that when that happens for sure, or if that happens, I should say, but it kind of sounds like they're not looking to do that. They did also totally praise Duran and all this. It would just be so dumb after everything that Duran has done last season and after everything they said at Fenway Fest to go through the arbitration process with him. One thing that I did find really interesting about all this media is that we got a lot of positional updates for players. Everyone's still pointing towards Rafi being our third baseman. Alex Cora saying that, Trevor Story saying that, even mentioning that this is and forever will be Rafael Devers' team, which I really love. Trevor Story, I know the dude has been hurt, and I know the contract hasn't been great for the Red Sox, but he is a fantastic guy to have in this clubhouse. Everything that comes out of his mouth just feels like the right thing to say. I'm really rooting for Trevor Story this year. Totally beside the point, but you get the Rafi update. You also got a weird update on Masataka Yoshida. I don't know if you guys remember, but last year they were pretty adamant that the reason Masataka Yoshida wasn't playing the outfield is because they didn't really trust him in the outfield defensively, right? Oh, we've got really great talent out there. He's better suited for DH. No, this has nothing to do with injury. Well, all of a sudden, our Fenway Fest comes around, and all these guys, Cora, Breslow, they're saying, no, the reason we didn't play Mas in the outfield last year is because of this shoulder injury. He's going to be good to go for the outfield this season. In fact, we expect him to play the outfield this season. I have no idea why they decided to change their mind. I would imagine it has a lot to do with the trade rumors we've heard surrounding Masataka Yoshida, right? Gotta be, if you could publicly get it out there that this dude can play the outfield, maybe he looks a little bit better to some of these teams. Maybe some of these teams are doubting it a bit. I don't know. But I think that probably has a lot to do with why Masataka Yoshida all of a sudden couldn't play the outfield last year due to injury, and he's going to be a defender with the Sox this season. Outside of that, there were a couple of other pretty big positional updates. Garrett Whitlock is officially confirmed that he is going to be back in the bullpen. This is something that had been sort of rumored / kind of confirmed over the offseason. We never really got it from Garrett Whitlock's mouth himself. This winter weekend, he said, back to the bullpen, baby. I love that. Garrett Whitlock is just willing to play anywhere for the Red Sox, which is incredibly important for this team. Just simply having him back out there and healthy, I think as long as he stays healthy, he's still going to be an absolute force for this Red Sox out of the bullpen. David Hamilton actually got a really interesting update as well. According to Alex Cora, he is going to be getting some reps in the outfield. Not entirely sure why, to be honest with you, because the Red Sox have a lot of great outfield positional players right now. Maybe it's just to get him some bench versatility, right? Because he's most likely not going to be in an everyday starting role. Maybe it's to make him more appealing on the trade market. Not entirely sure what the plan is there, but he is going to get some outfield reps over the offseason and going into this season. I also don't know if that's going to be at the major league level or in AAA. The other kind of big one, in my opinion, was Marcelo Mayer. That their goal with Mayer this year is to make him more versatile defensively. They're going to be playing him at both third base and second base. This one to me is really interesting because it sounds like just simply a way to figure out the best path for him to Major League Baseball, which I absolutely love. Getting him at third base and second base always felt like something that was going to happen. We haven't really seen it in minor league baseball so far. There have been a lot of different rumors and reports that, hey, maybe he's not going to debut as a shortstop, especially with Trevor Story on the team. I kind of always figured he would come up as either a third baseman or a second baseman, at least to start off. So it's great that they're going to get him some reps there. Again, we've talked about Marcelo a few times. I don't think he's going to be in Major League Baseball until, at bare minimum, the second half of this season, if at all this year. So it's going to be good for him to really work on third base and second base in AAA. And finally, I think one of the bigger story items that came out of winter weekend this weekend was obviously Garrett Crochet, right? We saw him for the first time in a Red Sox uniform. He talked for the first time in a Red Sox uniform. We're going to cover all of that in our video tomorrow, but the big thing I wanted to put into this video is his conversation about contract extensions, because he did a couple of things. One, he did confirm that him and his agent have started conversations with the Red Sox. Quote, there have been conversations with my agent in the front office, just kind of getting a feel for one another. The second thing he did is kind of open up about how he wants to be with the Red Sox, and I love this quote personally. Staying in Boston long term is something that has a lot of merit in my mind and something I think would be awesome. In the meantime, I'm focusing on spring and getting ready for the upcoming season, trying to stay focused one day at a time. When something's presented, then we'll attack it. I mean, obviously at Fenway Fest, he's not going to sit there and be like, yeah, you know, I kind of want to try this free agency thing. I think that'd be a lot of fun, right? Especially first time being introduced to Red Sox fans and Red Sox Nation. That probably wasn't something him or his agents were advised to say, but I do love the fact that he is open to an extension with the Red Sox. To me, I think at this point with the contract extension for Crochet, it feels like something that is going to get done, doesn't it? The Red Sox have been pretty open about genuinely wanting this to happen. Crochet, even before being traded to the Red Sox, and after being traded to the Red Sox, has been pretty open about being open to an extension. This feels like a match made in heaven. It has to be something that needs to get done, right? We've talked about it before, where if Garrett Crochet doesn't get extended, this trade is going to not look so great. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. But in my mind at this point, unless something changes, it feels like there's going to be an extension with Crochet before this season starts, or at some point this season, which would be absolutely fantastic. So whole lot of news in this video. I apologize if it's a little bit longer than my normal ones, but I wanted to give you guys basically everything that I could pull out of Fenway Fest this year. Ton of news as always with these things, so let me know in the comment section down below which one was your favorite. Was there a story that came out of Fenway Fest that you're like, man, this has to be frontline news? Is there something I missed in this video? Because again, there were a ton of quotes that you're sitting there saying like, I don't know how we're not talking about this more. What are your thoughts on the stuff we did talk about? Let me know everything you're thinking in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton. It's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, you can always get these episodes in podcast form by heading over to your favorite podcasting app and looking up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. I'll see you tomorrow for the full Fenway Fest vlog. And as always, in the red seats.